based on what I've seen on social media, and conversations I've had with my friends and family members and people that I know from back home, I think that there's definitely great momentum. A couple of weeks ago, I was a little bit skeptical as to how the political parties are doing in terms of campaigning, but I get a feeling the past couple of days have, it's gathered steam. My understanding is the official campaign season started September 27th. Official campaign season, and I don't know if these political parties were waiting for that campaign season to be officially open for them to to kick off their campaign. I also know a couple of days back, the Minister of Territorial Administration, Mr. Atangaji Paul, was calling on the candidates to come to the ministry and collect their campaign finance resources. Of course, during elections, those who are selected to run for office do have a sum of money from the state to help with the campaign, right? So I get the feeling that all this kind of cumulated to the boost that I see in campaigns. It's not only about political parties and leaders going out to talk to the people, it's also about the turnout. I have not seen a campaign rally that has been scanty. It's always a significant turnout. I've watched rallies by Joshua Osei in the Northwest, in Bamenda, in Limbe. I've watched campaign rallies for Bello Buba Magari in the North, and in Limbe, in Douala. The turnout is really great. However, I think it's important to qualify. What I know, my experience from Cameroon is that first of all, you take the number of people who have registered to vote, right? I think it's important to take that into consideration. And then at the end of the day, see how many of these people actually went out to vote. Most of the time, rallies are packed, not necessarily because people are motivated by the candidates or by the conversation, but just because of the ambience and sometimes the envelopes and the resources and the gifts that happen in that milieu, right? So when you see a rally of 5,000 people, how many of these 5,000 people are registered to vote, right? So it's good in one way because they're coming out and they're listening and they're engaging with the candidates. But again, it's like, did you really register to vote? On the day, are you really going to go out and vote? That is something that weighs heavily on me when I look at the rallies. And then talk about the preparedness in terms of the environment. We all know in the Northwest and Southwest, the political, the unrest that's happening, the amber situation that's happening down there. They declared a 1 month ghost town just because, again, elections are coming up on the 12th, and then of course today was October 1st, which carries at least some significance, right? So people are forced to stay home, but even at that, people are still going out and rallies are still happening. So in as much as people are scared of what may be unknown in terms of what this Ambazonian, these fighters may choose to do, they're still risking themselves, risking their life to go out and engage in a political process that should be free and fair and open to everyone. Kind of that is what I'm observing so far. It's promising. It's kind of promising. Not even to talk about the CPDM, which is a ruling party. I did not even mention them because for some reason they've always been out and active, and they've always had a massive turnout. They've been, I would say, every part of Cameroon there has been a CPDM rally. Doesn't matter how big or small, even the small villages, there's always a CPDM representative going back home to rally support for the president, right? So again, it's promising though. It is promising, I could say.
Yeah. Well, what a great summary. It shows your boots on ground and you're paying attention to everything that's happening in Cameroon. So I just want to piggyback on what you said. Absolutely, there has been some momentum. We have on this show on several occasions cried out about the lack of momentum, particularly an organized opposition.
Right.
And we are happy to see that there has been some traction on that front. So
Right.
it's encouraging for people who want the market of ideas to be out there so that debates can happen, so that people
Mm-hmm.
can choose a candidate of their choice. So, it is wonderful to see that. It is wonderful to see people gathering and listening to alternate voices. My and I share your optimism. My little drawback is it might be a little too late. Um, it seems like the coalitions are happening a little too late, and it's difficult to gather momentum and present a united front. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we have videos lined up of people who are trying to unite together, but we remember I was optimistic because we want a better Cameroon, no matter what political leanings you find yourself in. But um, it's going to move the needle for me from what I predicted back in July, August. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. But again, it's good to be optimistic because it is frustrating when you're talking to people from other countries of origin and you have to make it sound like a 92-year-old has a better chance of winning a 7 year term. It's very sad. It's very sad to think about it. But nevertheless, we're hopeful for the traction, me particularly with some skepticism. So we'll see. I don't know if you want to come in and comment on the little too late aspect that I threw in your assessment of the overall situation.
It has been a little too late, and we've been talking about the coalition for the opposition for the past couple of months. We've known from the very beginning that knowing CPDM, knowing I mean, I've lived in Cameroon most of my adult life, right? So
Yeah.
knowing the CPDM machine that is on ground, I knew from the very onset. We've always known, even from the previous elections, that the only way the opposition can make a dent in an election is when they form a coalition, and it's not just a two party coalition. We're talking about all the opposition candidates coming together. That has always been the only way that they could challenge. They could challenge the ruling party. I mean, they had a little bit of that. Was it 92 with Nijon, where
Right.
everybody rallied behind one political party, and that's the only way you could do it. They also had it a couple of years, last election we come to, where there was a significant rally behind a single candidate,
Right.
right? I remember Muna joined in that. I'm sure other political candidates joined Maurice Kamto during the last election. That is the only way you could threaten the government. So now there's no election. Everyone is frustrated, not just the citizens, not just Cameroonians. Even the politicians themselves are frustrated by the lack of their ability to form a coalition for many different reasons.